All right, what is up, players? Welcome to my Friday night video. We are going to be assembling some Stormcast Eternals, and we are going to be just chilling, hanging out. If you're working on a project, then I welcome you to leave a comment. Let me know what you're working on. And by the end of this video, which should take about half an hour, I hope we're both a lot further than when we started. Okay, got some flying boys and some hammer and shield boys. After doing extensive research, aka looking on some tax sites and some army list sites online, I've decided to go with javelins for the flying guys and a trident, and sword and or hammer and shield guys along with a big honkin' two-handed hammer. I think these look great. They'll be fun to paint, and I think they're the way to go. Okay, so these are the three that I've already finished assembling, and I'm going to be setting them aside as a encouragement to get all this done. I got my Lord Celestin and then two, I think they're called Judicators. Yeah, if these are the Liberators and the Prosecutors, then I think the two-handed hammer guys are the Judicators. Such silly names. But I guess you make them sound kind of Latin-y, kind of make them sound slightly familiar to the ear, then they're easier to buy. So I'm gonna just say let's do dessert first, and let's start building the flying guys. Put away the Judicators. Hopefully we can get to them, but I won't be too upset if we don't. Got my plastic glue here. Got the little nozzle cleaner. Up until I discovered this little trick, I thought getting one of these plastic glue bottles was just really inefficient, because sometimes the glue would dry on the inside of the tube and there's no way to get them out. You can't, like, you're gonna have to find a needle or something small enough to get in there. So we use these twist ties, and I just take my hobby knife and I scrape the little rubber-ish end off, so then you get a little bit of a metal rod there. And if you've got a metal rod that's small enough to fit into these, then that works just as well. But usually I found the glue dries right up at the tip and not down further here at the base. So as soon as you get even a little bit of length of that rod into the applicator there, it should clear out for you. All right, let's take a look at this. I've never unboxed these guys. So I think in the actual box they come in, you get 6 of them. I'm only looking at 3 of them now, and I think in the starter set too, the current starter set. So here we are with them, looking at these 3 half sprues, or 1 sprue and a half a sprue. Very cool. Hi, good morning, Santiago. Welcome to my live stream. We're just hanging out. I've noticed while I'm watching some of my recent videos that I'm a little bit amped up on the coffee when I'm at this table. I'm so excited to film and share with you guys what I'm working on. Sometimes I sound a little bit too excitable, so I've calmed it down. I've taken some deep Zen breaths, and I hope tonight's a little bit more calm and chill. We're gonna do it like a Bob Ross painting. And one thing I really like about these wings, I hadn't noticed about them before, they look almost mechanical, and kind of like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those kinds of wings, completely unnatural. They look like they were built to be attached as a piece of equipment rather than a natural extension, which I really dig. I like the armor. I like the way they've created the illusion of flight by having the figure's legs up here, and the trailing parchment is just what so happens to be attached to the ground. That's a very cool way to do it. All right, I'm going to set these aside. Take a look at the instructions. Yeah, that is a much cooler look also, rather than the hammers. I think, yeah, the spear and the shield, they look much more like Valkyries, like flying gods swooping into battle. All right, so we got legs on the bases. We got legs. We know how to glue them. What is that? Shoulder pads, shields. Okay, so looks like we'll get all of that done first. We'll get the legs on, clip out some wings, and then we'll proceed from there. Always good to follow the instructions. Sometimes it looks intuitive, sometimes you think, especially us guys, we're like, I don't need instructions, I know what I'm doing. Left leg goes with the right leg. And everything just kind of mix and match, but how many a mistake is made. Always make sure you use the flat edge of your clippers. Put that up against the model if you can, and then clip into clip so that the flat end is lined up to the model, so you're getting as much off of the frame as possible. It's going to be less for you to clean up, as opposed to putting the flat side against the sprue, in which case you're going to end up with a larger piece of flash that you're going to need to clean up later. Speaking of cleaning, I've got my hobby knife here, and we're going to be just scraping the different bits of flash. This will help clean the model up. It'll be less work for you to do later. Okay. Let's see how these dry fit. Sometimes I like to dry fit the models together. That means you're just holding them in the position you're going to glue them. That way, if you are putting the glue on and you can't find the right angle, sometimes the glue will get smeared all over your model bits, and that is no good for anybody. So this is kind of like a beginner's guide to assembly. Assembly 101 with Warboss Tay. Class is in session. If you've already taken this class and you've already passed it, then feel free to just follow along. And if you're taking it for credit, then good luck. A lot of this stuff I'm still learning. Put a little bit of plastic glue. Now, normally I would suggest holding the two pieces together for about 20 seconds. Just get a nice strong bond going, especially if you use a plastic glue that is supposed to melt the plastic the longer you have it on. So when the plastic melts, you push it together, and then when it hardens, it creates this stronger bond. Model Masters makes a good plastic cement. Usually anything that says plastic cement does that. All right, let's see how this is supposed to fit on the base there. I hope all your guys' Friday nights are going well. It is so hot in California. That looks pretty cool. I mean, they definitely look like flying space marines, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, really. If the models look good enough, then that looks pretty cool. All right, let's get on to the second pair of legs. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this sprue in half. This will make it a lot easier to keep track of which parts belong to which model. We'll see how far I get I set an alarm for how much time I'm going to be able to paint and assemble. Model Masters is no more. What? No! Revel steps up to the plate. I had no idea. Revel. Okay, I have to look them up. Oh, Model Masters. Man, it's like that's a blow to my soul right there. That'd be like saying, if one day Games Workshop just folds up shop and decides to stop making models anymore. I never thought, man, I never thought Model Masters would close up shop. I really thought that they would last as long as model railroads would, which is essentially like forever. Man, thanks for letting me know. That's a real bummer. Little dollop of plastic cement there. And what a lot of people don't know, especially when you're first starting out, less is definitely more with plastic cement. With any kind of glue, super glue, this plastic glue, less is more. You don't need as much as you think you do. No, it's real tempting to just slather it on and say that you want to create a strong bond, have more glue there, but no, just take your time, take it easy. Let's go for the last one here. So I've been looking at the pictures of the new starter set, guys. And I still have so much of my Soulblight Gravelords to unbox and paint up. I think if anything, I would want to collect the Soulblight Gravelords just because they remind me so much of my old vampire counts. And I think the vampire counts was my favorite army to collect. You know what I mean? I enjoyed collecting them. I enjoyed painting them. There are other armies that hold a very near and dear place to my heart, like orcs and goblins. I'll always love me some orcs and goblins. But I think artistically, I've just been drawn more to that gothic horror of the skeletons and the zombies and the vampires. And I know I've said it like 100 times, but Games Workshop, you're really dropping the ball with not having like vampire werewolves in your game. I mean, you've already let Forge World design those skin wolves. It would be so cool to have some werewolves. Oh, you fell down. What's going on over here? Did you get the Cursed City box set? I did, Max. I got the Cursed City box set. I've been trying to do live builds of each of the individual characters, and I've kind of lost momentum on that. Other projects have come up, but I've built up all of the heroes and all of the villains. Actually, no, not all of the villains. I don't think I built up the Gravekeeper guy, and I don't think I've built up the like the ogre bodyguards or the Virkos. But I love that box so much. I think that box is a prime example of when you spend the money, right? Because not only was it expensive, but now you have the whole supply distribution fiasco. And the tricky thing now is that people have to get over their fear of painting what they have, because it's essentially a collector's item. All of those miniatures are now collector's items, and a lot of us who are not quite confident with our painting will see that and be afraid to put the paint to the miniature. They'll build it, no problem, but building miniature and painting it, two kind of different things. It could be very scary. Okay, let's take a look. This is for the hammers and hammer shield guys. Wonder if there's a way to see. Where's the spears? I want to build the spear guys. I really like these guys with the swords too. I think that looks, man, that's such an awesome pose. I know I want one with a trident. Tridents look good. And the rest I want to have spears. Javelins. That's what they're called. Stormcast javelins. If I miss your guys' comments, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm just kind of looking away from the screen. If I do miss a comment and you ask a question or something and I don't answer it, please feel free to write it again. Okay, here we go. A Storm Surge Trident and Sigmarite Shield. Let's start with that guy. 10A, 10B. Yeah, Trident. Oh, he's not holding a oh no, he is holding a shield. All right. Fun. Javelin, javelin. Oh look, you got like 4 javelins. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Why would you get 4? Okay, here we go. Storm Surge Trident. Yeah, so let me know, what are you guys working on tonight? Unless you're just playing my video here and doing something else. Let me know what's on your hobby table right now. This double-handed hammer is so cool though. I want this axe. Oh man. What if I just built these 3 guys with special weapons? The axe, the trident, the hammer. Oh man, the sword. Looks so cool. All right, we got to get the certain arms, right? The arms are really important. You need to get those. 10A and 10B. Sorry guys, I'm just taking a look at the sprues here. Make sure I'm in the right direction here. Okay. So it looks like all the torsos I could glue right now. Front to back, breastplate, torsos. It's kind of what I'm used to. I was thrown for a loop the other day when I was building my Lord Celestin there, and the way he came together is so unlike anything I've ever built by Games Workshop. I know I said I should do this first because it's like the more interesting looking models, but having never really assembled any Stormcast Eternals before, this is a little bit of a slog, but that's what we have to go through in this hobby, right guys? Like, yeah, I want to put the finishing touches on a bunch of my models, but I've also got to get the ball rolling on these other ones I've kind of had on the sideline for a while. I still can't believe Model Masters is gone. Every time I think about Model Masters, the reason why I can't believe it is because it reminds me of my old hobby shop back in Hawaii. And there's this one hobby store where I could always get Model Masters plastic cement reliably. Every time I went in, they always had one. And I think it was the only place that I knew of where I could get this particular kind of plastic cement. So I always enjoyed going there. It's one of those little hole-in-the-wall places that like you had to go looking and diving amongst the boxes for what you wanted. It's just something about those old hobby stores, right, where it's like a treasure hunt to find like all the new stuff they have right at the front because they always want to entice you. But for you real collectors out there, they've got stacks and stacks of boxes that you're gonna have to go through, and that's when you find your Kislev Hussars, painting some Space Marine aggressors. All right, cool. Santiago, what chapter? If you don't mind my asking. Let's get these torsos on so our guys don't look so naked up here. That's the one good thing about these models also, is that you can pose them along. One thing about the new mono pose models are sometimes they don't give you the option to pose them. You're kind of stuck with the pose that they give you, which more often than not is the model standing on a piece of masonry with one foot and raising a weapon in the air and screaming. Not always the most fun pose. I love the action poses of these guys. I think the common look for a Stormcast Eternal is feet planted, very stoic looking, like this guy, immovable object, right? And then you've got these guys whipping through the air on their giant white golden wings, and it's like a totally different thing. All right, we're looking for arm number 46 and arm number 49. 46 and 49. The lady boss and I found the Nurgle champ today. I don't remember buying Big Fat Guy with the axe. You know, the one everyone and their brother is painted up by now. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. That's happened to me when I was just looking through my models and I found a hell cannon in Finecast. And I don't remember ever buying it. And I'm pretty sure it was from that story that I was talking about. I remember him buying, the guy that owned that store, he was like, yeah, I just buy whatever I like the look of, and hopefully someone buys it. 49 and 46. Oops. 49 and 46. This guy. I remember thinking, like, Glenn, why are you buying so much, like, Skaven and stuff that I don't remember people being so hyped about, but that guy loved to buy stuff just that he liked the look of and that he thought would be cool, and he hoped people would buy it. He let me borrow an old Danny Kaye movie just because he said he thought it was funny. So the lady boss and I I remember we went there and he was like, hey Tay, have you ever seen this Danny Kaye movie, the one where he plays like a Robin Hood character? I don't remember the name of it now. It was so funny. The Poison in the Pestle. That's all I remember about it. Had a lot of funny gags and jokes. All right, this is going to be our guy. This is going to be our javelin guy. You have to have the correct arm because the javelin is meant to be hurled. Look at the way the hand is angled. And this is the only arm where you're gonna, it's crooked at an angle and it's missing the forearm. Good morning, good morning. 7:30 in the morning. Wow, it's like 11:30 at night in California. Again, guys, I apologize if I miss any of your chats. I've got one eye on the models here, and sometimes I have to pull it away from the screen where all the chats are coming up. I'm so lazy. Like, I've got my laptop, but I do these live streams off of my phone because it's easy for me to just mount my cell phone, my iPhone, and then just hit the go live button. So that's kind of how I've been working. Ultramarines in this case, I got inspired by one of Sonic Sledgehammer video tutorials. Nice guy, and he gives very practical tips. Okay, cool. I gotta check him out. I don't think I know him. Sonic Sledgehammer. I've made it my life goal to be one of those tutorial guys that offer practical tutorials, practical tips on how to paint your guys up to the standard of the box cover. the box art. I like. I think that's the way to do it. Oh, okay. I think it's gonna go something like this. He's kind of like doing a side throw. Is that correct? Let's look at the model here. It looks like he's doing kind of like a side throw. All right. Yeah, let me know what else you guys are working on. I'd love to hear what other models are being worked on out there. I love the Ultramarines. I've always been back and forth on how I feel about them. And I've decided, okay, I dig them now. You know, when you first get started, you're like, oh, Ultramarines, lame, boo, vanilla, so dumb. But I didn't realize how much skill it takes to actually make a nice looking Ultramarines army. Are those the How I Paint Things videos? Yes, Dave. They are. I'm trying to do more practice. So here's my thoughts for my channel, you guys. Instead of doing full on like this is how you paint this specific model, like a Stormcast Eternal Judicator, I'm gonna try to do more videos that are like how to paint Stormcast Eternal armor. You know, something that you could use for anything. How to paint rotting zombie flesh, or how to paint dark hair, light hair. I used to do those, like how to paint blonde hair or red hair. And I think those are good because you can apply them for a number of different miniatures, right? There are lots of different models that have similar components to them, like Seraphon scales. Gosh, I'm just kind of rambling. I have these ideas on things I want to do with my channel, and then I end up looking at the clock and looking at my lady boss's due date and realizing I have no time for anything, which is why I'm really trying to wrap up. I want to get this project done, guys, because this is going to prove to me that I still got what it takes. I can still hang with all the whippersnappers out there. Where are the helmets? Where's these guys' helmets? Oh, here. I was like, where are their heads? They're so small on the sprue here. It's interesting because you only get 3 models, but I'm noticing you get four of certain things. So let's see, who are we gonna give our trident? Whose head are we gonna give them? They all look the same. Boo! I'm starting to notice now that Games Workshop is giving them more individuality by having more and more Stormcast Eternal figures without their helmets on. And I was like, when did this happen? Remember the first time they had a Stormcast Eternal without a helmet? I think it was a guy with a beard, white hair. And everybody was like, oh, look, Stormcast Eternals have faces. All right, I'm going to have him looking where he's throwing. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, so it takes skill, Santiago. So right on. Good on you, man, for going with the Ultramarines. I hope you do him proud, my boy. Do him proud. There's this one game store, guys, that I go to. They've had their Indomitus set out. And they've got their Indomitus set out at the front, right, for people to see when they come in. But they just kind of gave up on the Ultramarines. And I think they were thinking the same thing. It's like nobody cares about Ultramarines. So I think they just primed those Ultramarines in white. And then they put that, whatever that contrast color is, onto the Ultramarines. And they said, okay, that's good enough. And I was like, no, what are you doing? Paint them up. You want them to, you want people to be blown away when they walk in the store and see the Ultramarines in their gleaming blue armor with all of the, especially now with the new artwork they have for them, the different heraldry you could put on them, the ornamentation and the decoration. They look a lot cooler than the old school Ultramarines. So it's like fashionable now to be, whereas before it was like the rebels that didn't care about the Ultramarines. Right now, I think it's coming into fashion again that if you're a rebel, you actually do paint Ultramarines, paint them good. All right, this is what I'm afraid of, guys. The jetpacks. How does this go on? What the heck does this look like? What? Are they posable? No. Are they posable, guys? Do I have this wrong? No. Okay, it goes like that. How come this other... When I fit it into this side, it looked like I could make them flap. Like this. It's so weird. Is that true? I don't know. Games Workshop, you think you're a toy company now. I don't know if you're still there, Max. Are you working on anything right now? Or anybody else in the chat? Let me know what you guys are working on. Just hanging out. You know, it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's just a sign of the world we live in now. Is my lady boss and I, we used to love going to the movies back in Hawaii. We would go visit my friend Glenn at Armchair Adventure, the guy who let me borrow his Danny Kaye movie. And we'd have a nice dinner, and then we'd go to Dole Theater, and we'd watch a movie, usually a science fiction or a spooky movie. And that was like so much fun. And now because the lady boss is pregnant, we're having a baby soon, we just are terrified, even though they've opened the theaters back up, you know. It's just not a good time for us to be going out and mixing with people. Okay, so should we make the wings look like they're swooping open like this? Random old school 40K minis, first edition Eldar, and a few Marines. Oof, a collector. I think that looks pretty cool. Looks like the wings are sweeping in. I think the oldest model I have is, I think, a forest goblin on a metal spider for Warhammer Fantasy. I think that might be the oldest model I have. Okay, let's see if this fits. Cross your fingers, guys. Once we get this guy on, then I'll know the formula works. Legs, torso, arms, head, backpack. Oh no, looks like the javelin isn't, or the trident isn't going to fit around it. How is this supposed to fit? All right, wings. Give me a second. Let me think about this. Has anybody else built these guys up before? I assume the starter set, usually the starter set, it's easier to build these guys up. They make the starter set super intuitive for new players, hobbyists, kids. I might need to just put these backpacks on first, let this dry, and then at least we know that the wings fit somewhat around them. Around the trident. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Let me just push it in off camera. All right, I thought I could be fancy and get the whole thing on, but it might be a little too finicky. I might need to just get the glue to dry there. And then, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's get these wings on, boys. Let's get them on first. This is not this is not the War Boss Tay suggested method of assembling. This is the War Boss Tay flying by the seat of his pants at 11:30 at night on a live stream with two of his closest friends. All right, through the power of positive thinking, we are going to get at least one guy built tonight, guys. Let's just angle the wings around his javelin. Maybe it's better to get the wings on first, then you can angle the weapon around, because that's a smaller thing to have to build. Oh, I can see the flash on that wing now. Dang it. I guess this still works in theory, right? Because you can twist the wings a little bit. To angle around. You just don't want to twist them too much because you don't want them looking lopsided. Man, miniatures have come a long way, huh, Max, since first edition. Just push it on long enough to get some kind of bond. Then I think I'm going to call it a wrap here, guys. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open. And I want to get at least a little bit of this done so I can film my day 5 video, because we're going to be going into just about midnight for the summer painting challenge. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've got a summer painting challenge going on right now. That's being kind of sarcastic. I'm pretty sure everybody who follows me knows that, because this is around the time of the year when I'm doing my summer painting challenge. This year I'm actually offering some prizes to those who participate and finish their projects on time. All right, there we go. Get a nice bond. You know what I think I'm going to do? Just for added level of security, I'm going to glue the trident to his wing there. Then you've got 2 glue points for this flippin' backpack. There we go. Very pleased with it. I'm going to set these other 2 half-built guys to the side. We're going to say that this is all I wanted to get done tonight. I've got my champion here with the trident. Oh, man, what a night. What a night of assembly. I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you watching in the future, I hope you were able to get something done tonight. Didn't quite accomplish my goal of finishing all 3 guys, but I've got one of them done. And now I know the standard that I want to build them all to. This is really good because at the end of my week 1, I wanted to finish all of my guys. I think I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to just have to do the arms, the shoulder pads. Oh, the shoulder pads. I did not finish building this guy. Okay, almost there. Got to get them shoulder pads on, and then he'll be good. But you know what? I'm going to get that on tomorrow. I'm going to let the glue dry. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time, we might get into live assembling some something else. Maybe some dire wolves, maybe a Radikar the Beast. And yeah, those are probably going to be wild and a lot of fun. I knew I couldn't build the whole thing tonight. I had to only get on for about this amount of time. So I didn't want to start something if I knew I couldn't finish. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a great night out there. We will see you in the next video. Latest, players.